on a scale of 0 to 10, where has the overall just personal energy level been? When I say personal energy, we're gonna keep that pretty broad and then we'll narrow it down. And then as you're thinking, on a scale of 0 to 10, let's get a little bit more detailed and bring it into like a physical energy. So personal is just like overall, and then we're gonna bring it into physical, like body energy. And then let's do emotional. So it's really important to pull that piece out. So emotional energy on a scale of 0 to 10. And then I'm gonna do one last one again, because it's been so long. I would love to do a pulse check on mental. How I want to decipher that is emotional is feelings. Mental is very much capacity. What do I mentally have the capacity to handle? Yeah, and see, when we make that distinction, it's very different. And this is exactly why we pull it apart, so that we can understand how they each affect our overall, right? And so, not right now, but what I really want to encourage you to do is after the workshop, take just 2 minutes, it doesn't have to be long, to break those numbers down for yourself. What is giving that number? Like, how did you get to that number? But also what's taking away from that number? And just pull it to your awareness, because when we're aware of what's draining us, and on the flip side of that, aware of what's giving us the number that we even came up with, we can do more of one thing and begin to remove other things that are draining us, that are within our control. Some of it is not in our control. Okay. Now, before we really dive in, I really just want to honor that even if you're here live, Caitlin, shout out to you, or if you're catching this recording, regardless, you chose to show up. You chose to be here live, or you chose to hit that little play button that you very well could have just forgotten that it even existed in your library, right? Because this time of year is a lot, and I don't need to tell you guys that. Right? This is when the world begins to speed up. Expectations, plans, responsibilities, shopping, emotions, family, like conversations about what we're doing, where we're going, what time we're doing it, just all the things. It's all rising this time of year. But today we're gonna choose to slow it down together and kind of break it apart. And the intention of this session is pretty simple, is to release the grip that guilt has on your choices and start reclaiming your peace now before the holidays take hold, right? So I want you to take a breath and ask yourself, how do I want to feel this holiday season? Not what it should look like or what everybody else wants, but how do you want it to feel? And this might sound redundant for some of you who were here this time of year last year, right? Like, it sounds similar. We've done this before. But what's beautiful is that an entire year just took place. Some sort of evolution happened, different life events, different things are on our plates. And so the word that we chose last year might not be the same word we choose this year. And if it is the same word, we might not want to obtain it the same way. The things that we're choosing to do to feel the way we want to feel this holiday season might actually look different, even if the word is still peace, right? For example, last year we chose peace. If this year the word is peace, the way in which we actually obtain that peace might not look the same as last year. Yeah, present. I love that. So take a minute, Sarah, we're talking about how we want to feel this holiday season, okay? So I want you to take a minute and sit with that word. Whatever it is that came up for you, I want you to sit with it for a second, because that's going to be the compass that we do today's workshop through. I want to start with just a truth here, because there's so much shame or guilt or stress or even just like that pull or that angst that holidays come up, like bring up. Holidays bring up so much, right? We know what we want. We know how we want to feel, but we're also trying to people please everyone. We're trying to make it to all the events. We're trying to make it all happen. We're trying to figure out our schedule. We would love to add 5 more hours into the day. But then really at the end of the day, we're like, I don't want to do all those events. I don't want to try to squeeze it in, because that word that you just picked at the beginning of this session, how can you actually feel that when you're trying to make everybody else's feeling possible? So let me start with a little logic reframe. Guilt is not a guide, it's a signal. Guilt shows up when we've been conditioned to believe that taking care of ourselves means we're also taking something away from someone else. Let that land for a minute. It whispers things like, you're being selfish. You should be doing more. Everyone's counting on you. You've always done it this way. Why is this year any different? Right? We all hear those whispers. But here's what I really want you to hear. Guilt is really just your body's alarm system that goes off when you start to grow beyond your old expectations. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're doing something different. And different often feels uncomfortable, especially for those of us who are taught to equate love with people pleasing, right? And peace with performing. So when guilt rises this season, because it will, because we're human, it is natural, right? It is that alarm system. So this is us being prepared and getting prepared for when that alarm system goes off. Instead of reacting to the alarm system, I want you to start asking yourself, what story is this guilt trying to tell me? What story is this guilt trying to tell me? Or what is this guilt trying to tell me? And pause with it for a minute. Not the actual situation itself, but what is it trying to tell me in my body? Oftentimes our alarm systems go off when our core values are being stepped on. It hits something, right? This is where healing begins. This is how we begin to take new action and set boundaries while simultaneously lowering that screaming alarm system. It might not go away completely the first time, but it might be a little quieter. And that's what we're aiming for. There's a lot of nurses in this community. Caitlin, I know you work in the safety field. Like when you act, like take ourselves out of it for a minute and think about what you've been trained on when any alarm goes off in your workplace. RACE, right? If it's the actual fire alarm, we all know what RACE stands for. Rescue is the first one. But yet when it comes to ourselves and that full body alarm system gets triggered when we feel guilty, we don't rescue ourselves. We quite frankly jump into the fire, right? We're like, I'm just gonna start making everybody happy. I'm gonna make all the things. And then by the end, we're exhausted. And we're wondering why we feel burnt. I couldn't have even planned that analogy if I wanted to. If you guys could see my notes, that was not a part of it. None of what I just said was a part of this. I'm just going with it, okay? Yeah, I knew your brain was there, and I also knew Sarah's brain was there, so I was like, I'm pulling it. Everybody knows what this means. First, we're gonna talk about the awareness piece, okay? Going back to the logic, because most of us learned early on that to be a good person, to be the helper, the reliable one, we actually learned that our worth was tied to what we gave, not with who we are. That's a huge distinction. That's a powerful distinction. Our worth is not about what we can give. It really is about who we are. So even when we start doing this inner work, those old voices are going to still creep in, right? You should go to that event. You should not disappoint them. You're the only one who does it right. You're the only one still showing up to the family tradition. If you don't hold it together, who will, right? You might even be the one that the family pulls in as the ringleader to try to get the rest of the family to show up too, right? I know I am. Because my family knows that I have the biggest heart and I have trouble saying no to family things, and I have a really good way of roping people in. It's something that I'm trying to check and pause myself. So this is the pause that I want you to ask yourself. This is important. And you've probably never been asked this question before. But when you hear that guilt creep in, whose voice is it in? Is it a parent? Is it a friend? Is it society? Or is it really just the inner critic that's been running the show for years? It might be more than one. That voice might be in more than one voice. Yeah. So if you want to go a step deeper, because you guys have been here and you've been doing the work, so I feel like I can challenge you to go a step deeper. Decipher, one, what triggered the guilt, and whose voice is it in? Because while it might be a mix of voices, I guarantee whatever it is connected to, whatever event it is connected to, will pull out the distinction for you. Does that make sense? So for example, when it comes to a family event, that inner voice might be different than when it comes to like going back and furthering your education. Or it might be different when you're trying to be the mom that you want to be or the spouse that you want to be. It might be in a different voice. Start pulling that out. The other piece I want you guys to hear is this. We don't need to fight our guilt. We just need to start recognizing it. For you guys, going deeper in when is the guilt being triggered? Like what specific event is triggering it? Whose voice am I hearing it in? And what is it trying to tell me in that moment? Okay, so that's where I would invite you guys to go deeper. The second piece to this is the ambition piece. As you guys know, awareness, ambition, and then that leads to aligned actions. Now that we're aware, or a little bit more aware of the patterns, I want to talk about what you actually want the season not to just feel like, but to look like. Because ambition isn't always about doing more, as you guys know. Sometimes it's just about doing it different. And different isn't a bad thing. Life actually asks that of us. That is what evolution is, right? As we grow, as we step into different seasons of life, it actually asks us to evolve. So when we're hitting this place of overwhelm and stress and guilt and shame, it's because we've hit this wall at a point in our life where life is asking us to grow and evolve, but we're still trying to stay the same and do the same things. And it doesn't work. And it's that you guys can feel that inner just battle every holiday season. And every holiday season, we swear we're not going to do it the same as last year or not the same as this year. And then the next holiday season hits and we find ourselves in the exact same spot, right? So not this year. Not this year. This year we get to start to peel the layers back. We start to get a little bit more clear on what we really want and how we really want to be spending our holidays. And how do we hold these boundaries with our loved ones in a really loving and caring way? To say, hey, I know this is the way we've always done it, but our family is growing and maybe our traditions need to as well. Just sit with it for a minute. I want you to ask yourself, if guilt was not guiding your choices, what would you want? What would you want this holiday season to look like? Write it out, paint the picture, think about it. Because the more clearly you define what this looks like, what you want it to look like, what you want it to feel like, the easier it is to actually choose it. Because you can't look away from it now. You can't pretend that it doesn't exist, and you can't pretend that it's not what you truly want. And that steps into the aligned action piece. Because when you clearly paint that picture, you know what it is you want, you know how you want to feel, you know what it looks like. And if you guys have been around me, this is the next piece of the puzzle. Taking steps that actually match that truth. Awareness, seeing what's really happening beneath the surface when the guilt is triggered. Ambition is getting honest about what you want, and aligned action is taking steps that actually match that truth. And for the holidays, I want to give you a simple way to bring that framework to life. Okay? This is called the pause, pick, practice method. This is new. This is brand new. Pause, pick, practice. And we're gonna go deeper into this in December's workshop. Sarah, there's going to be an extra workshop in September. It's actually gonna be a Saturday this time. That's the bonus workshop. Yeah, but you guys get it first. What are you guys are giggling. What are you giggling about? I'm missing something here.
You said September, and I said September, and she's like,
oh, December.
I took care of it. She got me. I was like, what?
I was like, what did I miss? December. It's December 6th. It's a Saturday. Yes, sorry. Thanks for catching it. I was like, I'm missing something. They're both giggling. There's nothing in the chat. Love you ladies, love you ladies. Okay, I'm actually really excited to bring this to you because it is new and you haven't done it. And we're gonna talk about it now, but we're gonna go even deeper in it on that workshop. But you guys always get it first, always, okay? So the first piece is the pause, right? Which is the awareness. Pausing, taking a breath, just noticing when that guilt is rising and breathing before we react. So really just pausing and sitting with it for a minute, not allowing it to fully trigger us, right? The second piece of this is pick. Choose your piece instead of your pattern. Do you know what I mean by that? So pattern is our usual way of moving forward when the guilt hits. And that looks differently. But when we begin to feel that guilt and like, should I do it or shouldn't I? Should I stay home or should I go? Like when that guilt comes up, what is our, Sarah's laughing because I know I'm speaking to you right now. What is your normal pattern? That's the people pleaser in us. We're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna suck it up and go. I can rest later. Oh, it's okay. I have time later to, and da 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 da. Pick is choosing your peace instead of your pattern. So what would your peace look like? And then practice is communicating that peace with compassion and consistency, right? It's beautifully setting that boundary in a way that the person on the other end, while they might not be happy, they still can't not understand it, right? They can't argue that that is what you want and that is what you're needing. And the reason why it's called practice is because it's exactly that. The first time we do it, as you guys know, when we talk about setting boundaries, whether it's at work or at home, setting boundaries and then communicating them and standing by them is entirely different. So it's purposely worded as practice because it's already triggering our brain to be like, we're not supposed to be a professional at this. I'm practicing it. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel off. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but I'm practicing it because one day, as I begin to set more boundaries or stay consistent with my boundaries, it's no longer going to feel scary. It's just going to be expected. Awareness, ambition, aligned action go beautifully hand in hand with pause, pick, and practice. That's the flow that helps you build a holiday and also a life that actually fits you and who you are. So for a minute, I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to actually picture this holiday season. Though I want you to picture the moment in the season that usually brings guilt or pressure for you. Everybody has one point, or maybe more than one. I want you to pause. I want you to breathe and choose what peace would look like in that moment instead. What is actually coming up for you? And then I want you to practice it. Visualize yourself honoring that decision with grace, choosing the peace without the guilt. Because that, the new vision, that's alignment. That's what we're going to build on next month, okay? We're gonna build this out more. But what I want you guys to take away from today is that guilt will always knock. It's just a part of being human. But peace does not have to be earned. You get to choose it. Because truthfully, do we ever obtain it trying to make everybody happy all the time? No, it will never happen. You're allowed, hear me on this, you are allowed to design this season in a way that honors your capacity, your values, and your family without explaining, apologizing, or overextending. So as you take away from today, I want you to keep these questions close. What do I actually want this season to feel like? Where does guilt try to rewrite that for me? And what would choosing peace look like instead?